Residents of Abeokuta have continued to condemn and lament the impact of recent hike in pump price of petroleum motor spirit, popularly called petrol. Anthony Gandunu interacted with a cross-section of people and filed in this report.
Which took effect from August 5, 2020, has already seen many independent oil marketers adjusting their machines to reflect the new pump price. A survey around Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, shows that most independent marketers now sell petrol between 148 naira and 149 naira per litre, while major marketers are still selling the old price of 143 naira per litre. Some energy consumers described the development as pocket unfriendly.
We are suffering, yet they are still adding to the pump price of the fuel. We are suffering, and they should think about the masses, not themselves, because Nigerians are not finding it easy at all.
Usually it used to be 143, but now it's 148. Although they may say they are going to review, but I don't even know that it has been increased.
For the marketers, they have no option but to oblige.
I think the issue of subsidizing, I think that would be major cause of increasing it. If they can remove it totally, I think it will be very, very good. So there won't be chaos then. It is what we are going to buy, is what we are going to sell. Because all this what federal government is doing today, the pain is much on people.
It would be recalled that the PPPRA in the last 4 months adjusted its ex-depot price 3 times. In Abeokuta, Anthony Gandunu, Nta News.
In another development, the enforcement of compulsory use of face masks in public places to check the spread of COVID-19 has begun in Ogun State. Akim Jimo monitored compliance with the directive by residents of Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, and files in this report.
Since the outbreak of coronavirus in Nigeria, federal and various state governments have been taking steps towards containing community spread of the virus. These measures include maintenance of social distancing, keeping personal hygiene practice such as constant hand washing, use of sanitizers, and wearing of personal. The state government directed the compulsory use of face masks with effect from 6th of August 2020. Surveillance by NTA crew in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, shows that while some residents complied with the directive, others did not.
Most of the people I talked to here this morning, most of them are telling me to go away. There's nothing like COVID-19. The government, they've tried their best to enlighten them, but our people are so difficult to believe this thing is real.
You can see people are even selling it 50 naira, so it's not much for us to buy. Because of me, I'm selling it, and because of people that they are safety. How much are you selling? 50 naira. How much are you making? 2.5.
For this set of people,
so those people that do not use it, anything can happen to them. So it's a government legislation. So they have to adhere to what government wants. If you love yourself, you protect yourself. If you don't love yourself, you see the consequence.
Yeah, the advantages of using face mask, one, is that it will protect the user of that face mask from contracting any disease. So people who are not using it, they are open, they have already made themselves available to be infected by disease or any infection.
Attempt to speak with the representatives of the state government on the matter proved abortive. You will recall that government stipulated 6 months jail term for any resident who contravenes the order.
The safety of Nigerians, the federal government says it intends to examine every possible option in the development and distribution of a vaccine against the COVID-19 disease, emphasizing that the health and safety of Nigerians is a priority. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
162 COVID-19 vaccine candidate on the progress of the vaccine development around the world, including Africa. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the federal government will continue to engage and intend to look at every possible option from all manufacturers of good vaccine. COVID-19 vaccine candidates asked, including how quickly can Nigeria get the vaccine once it's safely ready. Also, the Vice President wants the country to be first considered in the distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine when it's eventually ready. Spokesperson for the promoters of the BNT vaccine trials are not going on in Nigeria currently, but in parts of the African continent. It would be entering the third phase, having concluded the first two phases. Health Minister Osagie Hanire notes that the federal government would consider quality, appropriate volume, and how well and quick in the State House. Jide Onifade, NT News.
Prelude to awarding projects that boost its mandate of expanding rail infrastructure, the Nigerian Railway Corporation is evaluating contract documents in adherence to the Procurement Act. Michael Olaleye reports that the process was...
Despite the giant stride recorded at using the rail to open up communities for investment opportunities, the federal government is still committed to harnessing the vast potential the rail subsector has to offer. This initiated by bidders for the award of 2020 capital projects in the subsector. The projects under three categories covers infrastructure, works, and consultancy.
So we have things like maintenance of our locomotives, procurement of spare parts, insurance of some of our new locomotives, and all these things are critical to ensure that
the eligibility criteria but seeks authentication with relevant agencies in compliance with due process.
For instance, the IRR will authenticate through Bureau of Public Procurement and so on and so forth. So, and there are about just over 700 documents we've received today. Normally of public procurement and advised us not to get the bidders in. But we've put some measures in place to make sure that it's transparent and to make sure that the bidders get a feel for what we are doing at some point.
The fulfillment of this open exercise will translate to more projects, which will improve the quality of lives of Nigerians. In Lagos,
Village head Rashid Sholabi has been arrested by the Ogun State Police Command for having unlawful carnal knowledge of his 15-year-old biological daughter. A release by the command's public relations officer, Abimbola Oyeyemi, indicates that the suspect, who is the Baale of Oshe Agbedu Ajibawo in Owodeyewa area of Ogun State, was arrested after a complaint to the police by the victim that the suspect has been having sex with her since when she was 11 years old. The victim told the police that she lost her mother when she was barely 2 years old. The suspect initially denied the allegation, but when confronted by the victim and one of his ex-wives, he fainted and was taken to the hospital for resuscitation. His ex-wife informed the police that she caught him red-handed while having sex with his daughter, and that was the reason she left him. The victim has been taken to Stella Obasanjo's motherless baby's home for safety. The Commissioner of Police, Edward Ajogun, has ordered the transfer of the suspect to the Anti-Human Trafficking and Child Labor Unit of the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department for a proper investigation and diligent prosecution. Channel 12 News continues after this timeout. To stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. And moving on to the education sector, ahead of the 2020 West Africa Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination, students in Osun State are now back in school. Correspondent Femi Afayogun tells us more.
After spending months at home due to the COVID-19 pandemic, anxiety on faces of students of Oshogo Grammar School as the brace for the task ahead. West Africa Senior Secondary School examination. The measures put in place by the state government to prevent COVID-19 in our school, a science student of Oshobo Government High School, Motilayo Fayoyin, is still not comfortable with the reopening of schools.
The reason why I'm happy is because we'll be able to finish our exams and move on, but the unhappiness is there may be higher because of the
students.
We are also putting together an arrangement where counselors, guardian and counselors will go around to talk to them, to prepare them, not only academically, but also to get them to calm down, to be ready emotionally, mentally, and psychologically.
For Motilayo and over 13,000 students spread across 100 areas lies with observing the guidelines and their teachers ensuring strict adherence to the regulations. In Oshobo Febi Afarogun, NTA News.
And on sport update, UEFA Champions League returns on Friday. Ayodeji Makinde brings us more on sport update.
Former head coach of Nigeria's Super Eagles, Joe Bonfrey, has described the national team as a brand that must be guarded with every sense of jealousy. The Dutch tactician who guided Nigeria to Atlanta 1996 Olympics gold charges stakeholders on teamwork in order to harness the nation's football prowess.
With increasing number of young and athletic Nigerian players who are doing well in European clubs, the Nigerian national football can become very strong again and win trophies like before.
Meanwhile, action returns in the UEFA Champions League with the remaining round. Welcome Lyon to Allianz Stadium while Real Madrid play Manchester City at the Etihad. And on Saturday, Chelsea will be in Germany for their clash against Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, while Napoli visits Barcelona at the Nou Camp in Spain. Arrangements are in top gear for a successful staging of Maiden Northern Nigeria Lottery of Youth and Sports Development, say the project will be up and running post-COVID-19.
We'll scout them and train them, send some of them abroad, and within a couple of years, we believe we will now be having statues, pillars, stars from...
In Abuja, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
40 days after the demise of the former Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi, family members and close associates again converged on his Ibadan residence to supplicate for the repose.
The 40-day prayer held in strict compliance with COVID-19 protocol provided another opportunity for those left behind by the former governor to intercede on his behalf for Allah to grant the repose of his soul. Islamic clerics, after various recitations from the glorious Quran, reminded all that death is an inevitable end as an achiever of notes. A handful of his political associates say the former governor laid an enduring legacy that will be sustained for years to come.
We shall continue to pray for him so that Allah will give him a Jannah Firdaus.
We have to move on. But it's not been easy.
Under him, and I work under him as a commissioner.
He always said the truth, the way he said things, and he said the truth no matter how the condition.
As a father, as a leader, he did his best to lead us, to show us the way to where he thought was best or where we ought to be.
Special prayers were held for the widow, the children, and the nation at large.
Thank you for watching. I'm Idarisit Adedo. Bye for now. olùgbé Abẹ́òkúta ni wọ́n ti ń fi àìdùnnú hàn lórí èlé tó gbowó jálá epo bẹtiró. Olórí abúlé kan ló ti wà lákọlò àwọn ọlọ́pàá fún wípé ó ń fipá bá ọmọ rẹ̀ lò pọ̀. Wàyí ẹwà nǹkan fìdílé lápapọ̀ nílùú Abẹ́òkúta. Fúnmiláyọ̀ Pátọ́lá ní oníròyìn yín, ìròyìn ọ̀hún rèé. Ní lọ́lọ́ yìí ni wọ́n kéde iye owó tuntun táwọn elépo yóò máa gbé epo eléyìí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọjọ́ kìíní oṣù yìí léyìí tó ń tọ́ka sí wípà sí báyìí. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Anthony Gọ́dúnú ti wá jáde lọ sáwọn ilé epo láti fìdí òótọ́ hàn iye táwọn ilé epo náà ń ta jálá epo báyìí. Abọ́ rẹ̀ ni wípé àwọn ilé epo kan ti yí òǹkà jálá epo wọn ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú owó tuntun náà. Àkíyèsí nígbà táwọn míì ń ta tiwọn ní 150 náírà kan, táwọn míì sì fi jálá kan tiwọn sí 137 náírà. Àwọn tó bá akọ̀ròyìn wa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ìgbésẹ̀ ọ̀hún sọ wípé ìjọba kò nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwọn aráàlú lọ́kàn rárá lábẹ́ bí ti wù kó rí. Nígbà tí àwọn alágbàtà epo náà ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní tiwọn, wọ́n ní ohun tí àwọn rà òun náà ni àwọn ń tà nítorí pé àwọn kò rọ́gbọ́n dá sí i. Ẹ ó rántí wípé láàrin oṣù mẹ́rin ó ti di bí ẹ̀mẹ́ta ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ tí wọ́n ti ń yí owó jálá epo padà báyìí. Wọ́n ti akọ̀ròyìn wa Akeem Jimoh tó jáde lọ sí ìgboro láti wo báwọn èèyàn ṣe ń tẹ̀lé òfin náà sí ló jábọ̀ láti ìgbà tí àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn coronavirus tó ti bẹ́ sílẹ̀. Òun náà ni ìjọba àpapọ̀ àti àwọn ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan tó fi mọ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ni wọ́n ti ń gbé onígbésẹ̀ náà tí wọ́n fi lélẹ̀ wípé kí àwọn èèyàn máa tẹ̀lé. Òun náà ni títa kété sí ara ẹni, kó má sí àlọ́lù, kí wọ́n máa lo aṣọ ìbomúbẹnu lóòrèkóòrè, kí wọ́n rí i pé wọ́n fi ọṣẹ àti omi fọwọ́ ní ìgbàkúgbà, kí wọ́n sì máa lo oògùn apakòkòrò eléyìí tí wọ́n fi ń bẹnu yìí. Ó ní ó jẹ́ láti dáàbò bo ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan tó bá lò ó láti má jẹ́ kí wọ́n ṣe àgbákò ìtànkálẹ̀ àrùn náà àbí kí wọ́n kó ran ẹlòmíràn. Láti wá rí wípé àwọn èèyàn ń tẹ̀lé òté yìí, òun náà ni ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ṣe ṣe lọ́ranyàn fún àwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ yìí wípé bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọjọ́ 6 oṣù tí a wà yìí, ó ti di dandan gbọ̀n fún ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan láti rí i pé wọ́n ń lo aṣọ ìbomúbẹnu náà. Ẹni tí ó bá sì kọ̀ láti lò ó wípé àǹfààní ẹ̀wọ̀n oṣù 6 àbí owó ìtanràn $5,000 náírà ó wà ńlẹ̀ fún un. Èyí ló wá mú kí akọ̀ròyìn wa kó jáde lọ sígboro láti wò pé báwo gọ́rọ́ àwọn èèyàn ni kò fi bẹ́ẹ̀ lò ó. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni àwọn kan sì gbàgbọ́ wípé kò sí ohun tó ń jẹ́ àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn kòrónà. Ó wá ní gbogbo ọ̀nà láti bá àwọn aṣojú ìjọba tó jáde sọ̀rọ̀ ló já sí pàbó. Ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti sọ wípé gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tó bá tọ́ tó yẹ láti pèsè abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára eléyìí tí yóò máa dènà ìtànkálẹ̀ àrùn COVID-19 ni àwọn yóò gbé pẹ̀lú àsọyán wípé ìlera àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ó múmú láyà wọn. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Jídé Onífádé ló ṣe àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn náà. Ó ní níbi ohun abẹ́rẹ́ àjẹsára eléyìí tí wọ́n ní yóò lè máa dènà ìtànkálẹ̀ àrùn kòrónà káàkiri àgbáláyé ní àwọn aṣojú ti wá tó fi mọ́ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. Ní ìgbà tí gbákejì aláṣẹ Yẹmí Ọ̀ṣínbàjò tí ó ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ lórúkọ ìjọba àpapọ̀ níbẹ̀, ó ní ìjọba àpapọ̀ rẹ̀ àjẹsára eléyìí tó pegedé tí wọ́n bá ti parí iṣẹ́ tán. Alákòóso fún ètò ìlera ńlẹ̀ wa oníṣègùn Ọ̀sàgì Ẹ̀hánirè tó náà wà ń bẹ̀ tọ́ka sí wípé ìjọba àpapọ̀ kò ní fàyè gba ayédèrú oògùn láti wọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọn yóò sì rí sí iye tó. Ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun, àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń gbáradì fún ìdánwò àṣekágbá ló ti padà sẹ́nu ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Fẹ́mi Afárẹ́ogun ló lọ sí àwọn ilé ìkàwé kan tó sì mú àbọ̀ wá ẹgbọ́n tó mú bọ̀ síwájú sí i.
láṣeyege ló wà lọ́kàn àwọn ọmọ iléèwé Òṣogbo Grammar School.
mo ní ìzà ọ̀rẹ́ mi inú mi dẹ́dùn láti padà wá sí.
lórí ìgbà tí a fi sí ní iléèwé a rí àwọn tíṣà àwọn olùkọ́ wa láti kọ́ wa ní àwọn nǹkan kankan bọ̀ nísìnyí tá a ti padà sí iléèwé báyìí a máa rí ráyè ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa.
àwọn olùkọ́ wa wọ́n ti ṣe ohun tó yẹ kán ṣe nípa kíkọ ìlànà táwọn pè ní lesson note láti fi kọ́ àwọn ọmọ yìí.
pẹ̀lú àwọn nǹkan tí ìjọba pèsè sí àwọn iléèwé láti kojú àrùn kòrónà ọmọ sáyẹ́ǹsì iléèwé Òṣogbo Government High School kan Motiláyọ̀ Fáyọyìn sì ní.
púpọ̀ láti padà wá sí iléèwé torí a máa lè parí ìdánwò. inú mi ò dùn lọ́nà kejì torí pé bá a ṣe wọlé yìí ó lè lead sí higher cases of COVID-19.
ẹ̀wẹ̀ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ti ń wo ọ̀nà mìíràn láti jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ iléèwé náà túbọ̀ gbáradì.
àwọn ọmọ lè máa ẹlòmíì kan ti lè fẹ́ẹ̀lì kó tó dénú ìdánwò ṣùgbọ́n àfẹ́ kí yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀ so ìtorí ẹ̀ la ṣe fẹ́ káwọn kánsẹ́lọ̀ káàkiri láàrin bíjọ́ mélòó kan tó kù kí ìdánwò tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ kí wọ́n calm down kò sí wàhálà kò sí ṣòro.
fún Motiláyọ̀ àti àwọn tí ó lé ní ẹgbẹ̀rún 13 ọmọléèwé tí yóò ṣe ìdánwò WAEC ní olùkọ́ yóò ṣe mójútó wọn kí wọ́n lè tẹ̀lé àlàkalẹ̀ ìjọba gbogbo lórí àrùn náà. ní Òṣogbo Fẹ́mi Àfáríogun ló ń jábọ̀ ròyìn fún iléeṣẹ́ NTA.
òní ni wọ́n ṣe ètò àkànṣe àdúrà 40 ọjọ́ lẹ́yìn tí gómìnà àná ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́